Anyone else get some Firefly references going through their head during this whole quarantine thing? Before we get started, I just wanted to put a little disclaimer in here. I know a lot of the hauls come with these and I don't want to bore anyone, but this purchase was pretty frivolous. It wasn't something that I would normally purchase if I didn't have the funds to do so. But thanks to you guys using affiliate links, I was able to pick up some things both for the channel to review and also for my own collection that I've been wanting to try for a while. So I really appreciate it. Please spend responsibly. Don't feel like you need to purchase any of this stuff on your own, especially if it's either not in your budget or if it's just not something you need or want. I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at a Jackson's unboxing. I've got this package which arrived a little while back, so this one is probably safe. But the other package just arrived today, hence the gloves. I'll take them off shortly. And we've got this big ol' thing. Yes, I did stick my hand inside of the box to pick it up because it arrived like this. So I'm gonna hope that all of my watercolor pans inside are still here, but let's go ahead, get this box out of here, and then we'll start with the unboxing. It has been a hot minute since I have done an unboxing on this channel. I wasn't even sure if that was still a thing that people do, but I asked over on Instagram and 96% of you wanted to see the unboxing for this order, so that is what we are doing today. Trying to make as little noise as possible for the microphone here. Oh, nice. There's a big old bug smashed on the underside of this. How lovely. All right, I don't want to spoil too many surprises, but now that this is open, I will go ahead and put some piles over here, and then we will dispose of the rest of the things. I am also on a different table surface today, not a different table. For those of you who haven't been around the channel as long as some other folks, this is my table and it looks really pretty in person, but it doesn't film very well, so that's why I have the other cover over it when I film the rest of my videos. However, with the boxes, just wanted to make sure I was in focus there. With the unboxing, I didn't have enough space in the area I normally film in. So I moved it so that you'd be able to see more. So this box is some supplemental things that'll make more sense once we open up these. So let's go ahead and dive in. I watched a couple unboxing videos to try and get a sense of what it is y'all want to see, and I hope that this goes well. I think most of you said that you enjoyed seeing chatty videos, that you liked living vicariously through other hauls, and like to see what's coming up on the channel here. So if nothing else, I hope you enjoy hanging out for a little bit and seeing what is in the pipeline. 2021 is off to an interesting start for me here. I guess it's not a start anymore, right? We are in April. However, I am finally excited to make some more content for all of you again, and I hope this is a good first start. First up, we have some masking fluid. The masking fluid that I had last dried up and is no longer useful, and I keep forgetting to place it in orders. So this was kind of an add-on to the other things that are coming in this unboxing. But I haven't tried the Jackson's one yet, so I'm excited for that. So these boxes, I'm sure some of you can already guess what is inside. I Also, as you know, have not really been on YouTube very much lately, and so I was really late to all the granulating colors from Schmincke. They came out either in 2019 or early 2020. I don't remember which. I was going to research that before this video, but I forgot. But anyway, these are going to be some of those beautiful granulating colors. Now, if you haven't seen these already, there are videos all over YouTube. I will be doing a video eventually for them, but I will list a number of other resources in the description below. Otto's channel has a lot about these, Kimberly's channel as well. There are some others. I will link them in the description below so that you can get a full kind of rundown on these convenience colors. They are convenience colors, meaning that you can easily mix them from other colors that you already have on your palette, but some of them are just so beautiful that I was excited to try and build a palette around this. I will fully admit that this purchase here from Jackson's is a splurge. It actually was all paid for with your affiliate dollars. So thank you guys so much for using those affiliate links so that we can try out some more things and review them here on the channel. I've had a little bit of trouble cashing out through the system there. So after my third attempt, I was just like, you know what? Let's go buy some art supplies. So these specialty granulating colors only come in the 15 milliliter tubes. They are pretty pricey, and we have some from the Galaxy line, Tundra, Glacier, and Forest. We also have a tube of Potter's Pink because I only have a half pan of that and I wanted to get some refills. And then we have a couple of these smaller tubes, the 5 milliliter tubes, for some other granulating colors to round out the palette. So here we have French Ultramarine, which I shockingly didn't have from Schmincke. I had only had their others, so I'm really excited to see this. I've heard it granulates really beautifully. We've got Mars Black and Mahogany Brown. I'll go with this one next, and the tape that they use is really sticky. So I'm just going to use this little knife to cut everything open, make it a little easier. Oh, I did also want to mention, I forgot to mention at the beginning, so there were two different couriers that I used for this in case anyone is in the US is wondering from Jackson's. The one that arrived here super quickly and undamaged was from DHL, and the other one took a lot longer to get here. I understand that there are world events, and I'm not faulting them for that at all, but the open box I will fault them for, and that was FedEx. So I haven't always had trouble with FedEx, but definitely this decision, this experience has made me want to order from DHL in the future. This one is switching gears a little bit, you guys. I'm really excited though. These are the Isaro paints. Isaro? I think Isaro. There aren't a ton of reviews of these on YouTube, but there are a couple of really good ones. I'll link those in the description below. And the reason why I got them is because Arlisha named them as one of her favorite paints, so I figured I should try them out. These come in an interesting size. They are, trying to remember correctly, these are 7 milliliter tubes, so they're a little bit bigger than those 5 milliliter, and these are handcrafted. So I think it's a large enough company that they do have some machinery that helps them, but they're not a big factory. It's, from my understanding, a woman and her husband, though I could be wrong on that, just from what I've seen from other reviews. Again, when I do the review for this video, I'll do a lot more research before presenting them. I wanted to build my own custom palette, but they were actually out of a lot of the colors that I wanted. So I ended up getting this 10 color set that had most of what I wanted and a couple extras that I wasn't going to include on the palette, but figured I would try anyway, since they were there. There are a few more that I have to wait on, that they were out of stock, and I will order those when they come back in stock. I'm getting a little nervous that the other tubes that I ordered weren't out like the Schmincke ones were, but fingers crossed that they're in this box here. I was all ready to open this like for a reveal and didn't realize it was still taped on sides. Okay, good. We have got some more paint in here as well. We'll take out this clunky thing first. This is an applicator bottle for the masking fluid. I've used these types of things before. I don't know if it's the same company that makes them and then they're rebranded for Jackson's, but basically you put the masking fluid inside of here and it has a really fine tip so that you can apply it to your paper. And then there is a little prong on the cap to keep it from hardening inside the tube. I really need to get back to the eye doctor. I'm used to going every year pretty religiously since I was like 5, and I haven't gone in probably close to 3 years now, so I think I need a new prescription. All right, we've got another couple little tubes of Schmincke here. We've got the Caput Mortem and the, I can never say this, I don't know why, it's not a difficult word, Spinel brown. I have a half pan of this as well, but I wanted more to put in this palette here. We've got a few more Schmincke colors. I was like, I know I ordered more than 6. I don't know if I want to admit to that price-wise, but I knew there were more coming. So we also have the Galaxy Brown, Tundra Orange, and Deep Sea Green. Then the last 3 Isaro colors that I have in this order are Nickel Yellow, Burnt Umber, and Chromium Oxide Green. I have a post-it written, I can see it across the room, but I can't read it from here with the other colors that I want to get. So again, those will be in the video when we get around to it. We need something to put our paint in, so I picked up a couple more of the Fusion palettes. I used to use these a lot when I first started out. I have 4 of them already, actually, between my 2 first palettes. I made a granulating palette for a Skillshare class, and then I just made a gouache palette for an upcoming video. So I was like, why did I stop using them? They're so nice. I know why I stopped using them. It's because I started using half pans and I wanted the flexibility of being able to like add and remove colors more easily. But I just miss these wells so much. These nice slopes on them where you're not jabbing your brush into the little half pans all the time. So I went ahead and picked up a couple more. And in here, I am very excited to see the packaging in particular. I ordered a few more at your Sketchbooks. Hopefully you guys saw my last video, which was a huge review of 6 different sketchbooks, and this ended up being my favorite out of them. I got these to possibly add a new tier to Patreon. I haven't decided yet on the logistics, so stay tuned for that, but the sales for the paintings that I did in the sketchbooks went really, really well after the last video, and I wanted to see if I could offer more of that in the future. So I don't know if this is going to be a Patreon perk, or if I will do some sketchbooks every time I do a shop restock. That's the word I was looking for. More likely it'll be on Patreon, but keeping these around for that purpose. So here's everything in the first order, and it looks like a lot less money than I feel like I spent on it, or feel like I spent the affiliate money on. Thank you guys so much. But to let you guys know, if you're in the market for purchasing these things, the Schmincke colors, the specialty colors are very expensive. So again, if you're looking to mix your own, Kimberly Crick has some wonderful videos on that. I will link them in the description. And the Isaro are a high-end artisan type paint, so those were also pretty expensive. These are really reasonable. I think these are around $15 or $18, and the sketchbooks are around $25. So let's go ahead and move on to our second package. All right, so the second one was much smaller. Just got a couple little guys in here. So I just did this whole palette cleanup in the studio. I organized everything again, and I I put stickers on my palettes and that kind of thing. And I just got everything situated with my Roman Szmal palette, which is a 21 color palette with their full pans. And I have some extra pans for them already that I had to remove from this palette in order to fit the colors that I would use more often. But then I also saw that Roman Szmal's announced new colors. So in here, we've got some of those new colors, or new to me colors anyway. Not all of them are new colors. We have Aquarius Brown, which is PBR 11, which I really like this pigment. We have Indian Red, not a new color, but one that I didn't have in my palette. Shocking that these are all earth tones, right? We've got Hematite, which is a brown coloration made from PR 102. And you'll notice over here, I already have several similar colors, but never enough earth tones for me. The next color that we have is not in my normal wheelhouse. This is a bright orange, and normally you all know that I don't gravitate towards bright oranges. However, I was really intrigued by this one because there's another company that had an orange come out as a limited edition color that got put into their main line. Winsor & Newton have a new orange pigment that doesn't have a pigment number assigned to it yet, and neither does this one. So I was wondering if they have the same one, and I ordered it for that reason. This is Aquarius Orange, and it's kind of like a pyrrole orange. Very transparent, very orange, and I look forward to trying this one out. And finally, we have Cobalt Blue Deep, which you guys normally know I don't order cobalt pigments very often, but this is the PB74. This is not the normal PB28, and I don't think that means anything different for the way it's sourced. Again, companies are a little dodgy with that information, but I love this pigment so much. I only have it in one other brand from, I believe, Kramer. And I wanted to put it in a palette that I'll use more often. And I also don't already have an ultramarine blue light color here, so I wanted to give this one a try. So then the question became, what do I do with these pans? Because there's not enough room for more in here, plus I have extras that I told you I have like kind of on standby, and there are more colors that I didn't get to order similar to the Isaro paints. They were out of stock, and so I want to order some more of those when they're back in stock, and so I wanted a new palette for it. Somehow I have gone this long without having one of these palettes, but I finally ordered the White Nights set. Now I feel like this is either a set that people love or hate, and I know Arlisha said that she loves it. I've had other people say that they hate the way this palette is, but I have always been really intrigued by it and about the design, and I wanted to give it a try for myself. And I know it's a little bit extra to order a palette that has paint already in it, because I really just wanted the palette box. But I plan on gifting the paints inside in a smaller tin, because if I'm not mistaken, this is not a full palette of paint. So I plan on gifting the pans and then keeping the palette for myself, upgrading these to a metal tin. Can you guys tell why I don't do live recorded videos very often? My brain is pretty scattered and I tend to repeat things and whatnot, so I apologize for that. So yes, a bit of a frivolous purchase. I really just wanted to try this palette because I know a lot of people who love it or hate it, and I wanted to finally get to try it for myself after years of wondering what it would be like. So this little insert here extends the palette on this side so that it extends out. Had to zoom you out there so you could see everything. So there's tons and tons of mixing space. It still folds up to be, I mean, it's bigger than a 48 half pan set that you would get from like a metal tin. But I need it to hold more paint anyway, so I am excited to try that out. As for the colors that are inside this set, we've got some cadmium colors that I definitely don't tend to work with. We've got yellow ochre, we've got a red ochre, an English red, we have an ultramarine, which I don't actually already have. I have ultramarine deep here, so I don't know if I want to try that one out or or gift it straight off the bat. We also have indigo, which I know a lot of people really love, and I've not tried from them. And we have some greens that I'm not particularly interested in, and then some of the earth tones as well as their neutral black. This is an interesting assortment of colors. It's made from PR 187, PB 15:1, and PBK 7, so that would be interesting to try too. My camera clipped us there a bit, but I am excited to see how well the Roman Szmal pans fit in here. Based on Arlicia's videos, I think they should fit well, so I wanted to give it a try. I'm making bread right now and I can smell it. It's all the way at the other end of the apartment, but it smells so good. How much longer do I have on that? Ooh, 4 minutes left. Okay. What is the best way to try this? Let me pull out one of these pans. Well, it doesn't fit. That's interesting. I wonder if Arlicia modified her palette at all. I have to go back and take a closer look. And if not, I guess I will be putting my white nights in here and then putting my Roman Szmal in the white night palette. Because this one does hold more paint, so I could probably put all the Roman Szmal in here and then put the white nights in this one. Alrighty, I took the lid off my Dutch oven. We've got about 10 minutes probably before I have to head back out for that. I'm so excited. I made a few loaves of bread a while back. I want to say maybe around the holidays. It's been a few months, but haven't made one in a little while, and it's delicious, and I wanted to try my hand at it again. So one of the things that Instagram said that they wanted to see in this video was some swatching, and I want to save the Schmincke for a dedicated video with those really nice palette pours and whatnot, and so I'm hesitant to do it in this video, but I thought what we could do is move my white nights over, see if there's any colors we want to snipe from in here to add to the palette, and then we could swatch the cover of that sheet. I don't know, does that sound good? I don't think I have all of these colors on the White Nights video on my channel because I think I got them in the dark days of the quarantine. So let's see. This is gonna take a while. I will speed up this footage here and skip to the fun part. Sorry, the AC is on right now. Hopefully you can't hear that too much. Now, what I don't want to do is open up all of the half pans. Well, I guess I don't want to use these and then gift them to someone. So I'm trying to decide if I should leave them in the wrappers and then like gift them with a metal palette, or if I should unwrap them and put them in a metal palette before I gift them. The latter, they'll probably fit better, but won't look as new and shiny. I don't want to open up a bunch of pans I'm not going to keep. So I'm trying to evaluate based on what I can see. Maybe we should look up their color chart. I don't think the back of this is going to be super, super helpful, although maybe a little bit. This at least has pigment numbers on it, so let's take a look at it. So I actually don't have a lot of yellows, but I'm also not willing to keep cadmiums on my palettes, so those two I'm not going to keep. We have a yellow ochre that I have not tried, so I would be interested in trying that since it is an earth tone. I can't remember if I've seen it on other videos and didn't like it, so that's why I didn't order it, or maybe I didn't order it because it's a dual pigment, but I do like PY 154 and I like yellow ochre, so maybe we can give that one a try. The PY golden, I don't have another hue that's like it, but I think that I'm gonna have to look up PO13. I don't know which pigment that is. or if it's light fast. I already have this one. Cadmium we're not going to use. Red ochre I will definitely keep. I have English red already. I have carmine from a tube, but this is PR19 instead of PR19, not PV19. Either a typo or a different pigment. I'll look that one up too before I decide. This one I might be interested in keeping the Madder Lake Red Light. PV3 I don't think is light fast. I have Ultramarine Deep already. I have Phthalo Blue Red shade, but not the green shade, so that's a consideration. The Indigo I think I want to keep and try that one out. There's a PG8, which I already have. I think I got the raw sienna because, oh, interesting. The raw sienna I have on here says PBR7, and this one says PY43. That sounds vaguely familiar to me as a thing that I looked up when I got it. I wasn't sure what the discrepancy was. So I might unwrap that one just to see if it's different or the same. And then their Umber is a mixture of a bunch of different colors. I've got the burnt umber already. I don't have Mars Brown, and I love that pigment, so I'll probably keep that one. Their sepia is a bunch of colors again, and the neutral black. So let me go ahead, do some research. I will decide which ones I want to keep, and then meet you back here. Right, so I pulled my bread out of the oven. Now is the absolute hardest part, where you have to wait an hour before cutting into it so it can firm up. So that's gonna suck as it wonderfully wafts through the house. I got some tea. I re-listened to some of Arlicia's content where I had most recently seen the White Nights palette used for the Roman Szmal palette was in her top 3 favorite brands of 2021, and I neglected to go back to revisit the Roman Szmal video, which I had seen, but forgotten that she mentioned that these little ridges that are inside the palette stop you from putting those bigger pans in. So her husband sanded them down for her. And I don't have the tools for that. So we're going to go with the White Nights in this one. And I just think it's hilarious that I made the same mistake of not double checking my references first before ordering all these paints, but it's totally fine. I found a few colors in here that I am interested in trying. So we are just going to write them on the side because, oh, you can't see that. We'll move up a bit. They don't include any of the names on their pants. They do have a code number. This one is 313. And I think that matches up with the last numbers of this code here, but it's just easier if I write it. So we're gonna keep a couple new ones. I couldn't decide. I tried to look up information on these guys. You can see the labels clearly. So I have raw sienna PBR7. Then there's also a raw sienna made from PY43, which is usually yellow ochre, and there's a yellow ochre made with PY43 and PY154. The yellow ochre in Jane Blundell's swatches show a different pigment number. Instead of PY154, it's PY1. So the only way I'm gonna know is if I open them up and look at them. So we're going to do that and see what we end up with. So, yellow ochre made from PY43 and PY154. Just double check that that is what the label says, and then we'll also do the same for this one. It looks different than the one that I have in my pan. Are the code numbers different? There is no code number, and I do remember this. So I actually had a different set of pigment numbers written on here that were a misprint, I believe, on the wrapper that this one came in. So I don't know what's going on with the raw sienna. All right, so I think you can see there that these are 3 distinct earth tones. I'm just gonna let them soak up a little bit. These two I'm not concerned about. They look fine. This one looks a little dry. This is definitely kind of like a middle to light yellow-brown type color. And I mean, it's not uncommon for me to have 2 colors that look like this that are very similar, but I think 3 is excessive. So we're gonna pick 2 out of the 3. This one seems gummier. These colors are almost the same. If you told me they were the same and that this one is just older, so it's discolored in the pan, like I would believe that. But this one has more binder in it, and I don't like the way it handles as much as this one. It's not bad. It's just, if I'm going to pick between the two, I'll go with the one that I've been using. And this yellow ochre is very different. Definitely has a more opaque look to it. Much weaker in strength, lighter, more delicate. I have new neighbors, and they've been there for almost 2 months now, maybe a month and a half. And it still sounds like they're regularly dropping very large, heavy things on the ground constantly. So, all right. Well, this one also has the binder issue. This one does have a nice granulation to it that I can see going on up here, but I think if we're gonna have a binder thickness here, then we should take the one that isn't as thick on this side. I don't know, does that make any sense? Just kind of walking you through my thought process. So we'll go raw sienna, yellow ochre, and we'll rehome this guy. And that was the new raw sienna. I won't wrap him up right now since he's wet now, but we'll put him off to the side and hold on to him for later. All right, now that testing is done, we'll bring this guy back out, finish unwrapping the last few. We've got an indigo. There's writing the names on this, that's right. There's a bunch of white stuff all over it. Don't know if I should be concerned. I should not wet that. I was going to clean off the top, but I shouldn't wet it. If I'm going to handle it, I'll get staining colors all over my fingers. Okay, indigo. PBK7. PB15. And PV23. So they actually have dioxazine violet in their indigo, and I don't know if I've seen that before. It's pretty exciting. Oh, another thing that you guys saw while we were doing a bit of like the montaging is that I stuck some kneaded eraser in the sides here. There's this gap that, I don't know, I guess if you're gonna make a slot palette like this where the pans like very easily can come out, I would hope that like they would have molded it so that it perfectly fits their own pans, since that's what they're made for. So it's a little bit disappointing that that isn't the case. This definitely isn't going to be a travel palette. I think that if you were to take this out, I mean, as soon as you tip it, these are just gonna all fall out. But for a studio palette, which is our life now, for the time being, and I wouldn't take a palette this big anyway if I were doing like traveling painting. I would take something smaller, so I don't mind that they're not totally stable as long as they don't shift while I'm trying to paint with them. So by having the kneaded eraser in the corners here, hopefully when I'm going to grab paint with my brush, it doesn't cause an issue. I just realized I'm off camera again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm writing close to myself, which is reasonable, I suppose, but not within frame. You can also get serenaded by the birds that sit outside my window and yell at each other all day long. Cricket loves watching it. And there's someone going down the staircase. Wow, they had movers bringing in some stuff. The movers were running up and down the stairs. I was concerned my pictures were going to fall off the walls. This one also has a white powder on the top. Let me see if I can show it to you. I'm gonna hope that that's like a residual pigment and not something I need to be concerned with. I decided to keep the neutral black because I don't have another black on this palette. So we have the indigo now, and we had Indian Throne Blue, and we have the I don't even have the whole word written here, just as Vorin Black. The very long Russian word that starts with V, the V black. Which is more of a brown than it is black. So I figured I'd keep this guy. This is made from the PR 187, PB 15:1, and PBK 7. And then everything else, oh wait, we missed one. Got Mars Brown sitting over here. It's hiding. I do have, I think I mentioned this earlier, I have 3 half pans that were poured from tubes that a viewer sent me. So that's why they are in the half pans, and the half pans actually don't fit the other way. They only fit the long ways. So I put some of the tack, or sorry, not the tack. It's a kneaded eraser that I'm using as tack on the underside of this pan so that they don't shift around. Oh my gosh, this one is crazy. Look at this. What is going on? Party inside the paint pan, I guess. There's like white in here. There's red speckles. Yikes. All right, well, this is PBR 6. It says TR after. I don't know if that means transparent. The little box isn't filled in. I would be really surprised if this was the transparent color being called Mars Brown, but we will see. I am gonna clean this one off before we put it in the palette. let's do some swatching so you guys get what you came here for. Alrighty, so here is the finished palette chart for the White Nights watercolors. I gotta say, this paper is real bad, and it was really hard to get a good spread on a lot of them, but it will work as a palette chart. I'm grateful that it was included, so I didn't have to like cut things out or measure too much, though you did see me fill in the center here. This was a 24 color set, so there was like a block of 12 on each side, but like, I think obviously you're going to put more in the middle, so I'm not sure why they weren't there, but I just drew them in with a Sharpie. And yeah, I think this is a pretty mostly comprehensive palette. I'm definitely missing, you know, that range of yellows, but I do have the Aurelian from a tube, which is not genuine Aurelian, so it's not going to be too fugitive. I don't remember what the pigment number is for that. I'd have to look. Oh, it's PY151. It's fine. That'll be just fine. So I have a little pan of it down here. We do have a range of oranges. We have a proper darker red now, a lighter red. We've got a magenta, some violets. There are a couple colors that are very heavy on the binder. Ultramarine violet is one of them. The yellow ochre still was really unpleasant. Green earth tends to have more binder as well. The Mars brown too, I wanted to comment on. This definitely doesn't feel like a Mars brown that I've used from other brands. The others are more opaque and granulated. And the TR on the back of this label I definitely think stood for transparent. It's got a much different texture, and I'm curious to see what it looks like on cotton paper. So the purpose of this video wasn't swatching, but I hope you enjoyed that. So this is everything from the haul today, guys. Thank you guys so much for making this possible with your use of the affiliate links and letting me purchase things both for the channel and for myself. So the White Nights thing was obviously more for myself in trying to set up my Roman Szmal palette, but defaulting back to the White Nights, and I'll gift these ones. But the Isaro and the Schmincke, I will make sure to get videos out on the channel when I can. I'm still waiting on those extra colors. Same thing for the Roman Szmal palette reformatting system. We've got the sketchbooks that I'm going to make into sketchbooks, either available for purchase or Patreon, probably Patreon. We'll see how that goes. And the masking fluid, which I've been out of for a long time. So thank you guys again. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this more casual video. We'll get back to the more structured ones in the next one. Let me know in the comments below if you have used any of these brands, how you got along with them, if you liked them, if you didn't like them, if you have any tips or pointers for me as I move into the other review videos that I should consider. I'm doing lots of research on them to try and make sure I present all that good information to you guys. And until next time, I suppose I will just wish you happy painting. Thank you guys. Bye.